welcome to another edition of the SHIB Worldwide 50/50 Raffle. Woo! And if you're just joining us for the first time, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. We do appreciate all the comments we take into tonight's conversation. And tonight is no exception to the rules because we're going to be talking about what-if scenarios. Right, so I know that it's not much to do with the SHIB 50/50 Raffle, but the updates are that we didn't sell any tickets in the last 24 hours. Therefore, we can no longer host the SHIB 50/50 raffle tonight, but we have a carryover till the next, so we'll keep everybody informed of what's going on with the channel so that everybody knows exactly what SHIB 50/50 raffle is all about. Now, if no one knows about what SHIB 50/50 is all about, stay tuned. Make sure you rewind and come back when you're ready. Okay, so the SHIB 50/50 raffle is all about building awareness for SHIB, and in doing so, increasing everybody's demand. Everybody wants to be wealthy, so SHIB is a perfect investment opportunity for every single person on the planet. Now, is that financial advice? No. And SHIB can go down just as fast as it goes up. And it goes up pretty quickly. Once we start seeing some massive reductions from the exchanges, then we can honestly say that we're continuing the flow of how things should look in the future. Now, we find out the mistakes. So in a plane crash, anyone know all the proceeds that go on or process that goes on in a plane crash? So first is what happened, what went wrong, and how can we fix it for further information. So history is supposed to help us stop the process of doing things backwards for the future so that we don't make the same mistakes of the past. So in doing so, what we do is we reflect on all the problems that happened in the past so we can fix them for the future. Does that make any sense to everybody? So SHIB 50/50 raffle is all about increasing awareness for SHIB because SHIB is the only decentralized exchange that's actually reducing its circulating supply, adding value every single time we reduce the circulating supply. Now, that has not caught on. Trust me, it hasn't, because if it had, we wouldn't be talking today. SHIB would have exploded already. We would have all got stuck in the past, not being able to buy it because of the affordability crisis that it would be under. But fortunately for us, we were able to buy in as much SHIB as we did because somebody didn't see the opportunity and we took advantage of that opportunity. So if someone ever says to you, well, you bought it at a high price, you'd be like, no, I didn't. I bought SHIB when it was extremely inexpensive, period. Hey, massive love shout out to Mark Anthony. Massive love shout out to Demo. Massive love shout out to you. Hey, and don't forget to like and subscribe. If you like the channel, like what we're talking about here, absolutely hit that like button. It's my happy birthday, Zoe. How old are you, Zoe? Zoe, sorry. Ferguson, how old are you? How old are you today? Mark Anthony, happy B-Day. Absolutely, Mark Anthony. Way to go. Way to cheer on the whole community, right? We're all about building community. Absolutely. Excellent, Zoe. Holy crap, you're going to be a multimillionaire before you're 21. It's just not fair. It's just not fair. Excellent. Excellent. 19. Almost legal everywhere. So, yeah, Mark Anthony, how's Mark Anthony doing? You like the channel? You like what we're doing here? You're going to love it the next few years. This is going to just blow your socks off. So if you have an extra $15, $20 hanging around and you want to spend it wisely, first you'll need to open up an account. Then you'll need to transfer your account to a cryptocurrency exchange. There's a list of them. There's over 500 exchanges. I don't know where you're from, Zoe, but if you're from the United States, I'm sure that just talk to Jason Cox. He's got Robinhood. Robinhood is one of the best, right, out there. They're the cheapest and most affordable exchange on the planet. Better than Binance and better than Crypto.com. So keep that in mind. If you're in the U.S. If you're not in the U.S., and you're in Asia, Asia is OKX. They have over 10 trillion SHIB. So they're good to go. And we're going to talk about what if scenarios. What if Ethereum, instead of calling it quits after the first reduction of 410 trillion, kept it going with just 10% of the proceeds going towards the SHIB reduction? What price would we be at today if they kept it going? Oh, you want to write that down? You can always rewind. Nothing wrong with rewinding. Okay, Zoe. You need to grab a pen and pencil? Yeah, you might want to jot this information down. If you're in Africa, OKX is in Africa. Coinbase is expensive though, and he'll be right back. Mark Anthony, happy day. Okay, I'm back. So you got a pen and paper, Zoe? We're gonna break it down for you because we want to keep everybody informed, right? And here, I'll get you on as a moderator. So if you have a link, you can share the link now, Zoe. We're a community-driven token. No, we are community-driven currency, trying to get everybody on board and make them all extremely wealthy extremely quickly by getting everybody on board. The faster you get on board, of course, the faster you can start making some money. Mark Anthony mentioned 8.2 million wallet holders the other day. Mark Anthony, you still there? Because I like to get confirmation of that. Because all I see is 1,511,206. Now I haven't updated it. We're going to update that right now, actually, because I'm pretty sure that's higher now. Yeah, so it's gone up over 160. So it's 366. Okay, so it's 1,511,366 according to Etherscan. Now, please keep in mind, Etherscan is on the Ethereum blockchain, so it's based off of the blockchain, not off of each individual exchanges. Those exchanges buy right from Ethereum Etherscan, right? So it comes off of Ethereum through Etherscan. So that information is just based on Ethereum. So please keep that in mind. There's over 120 trillion SHIB held by BlackRock, Robinhood. They're one and the same. Something like XRP and Ripple. One and the same. So if anyone's into Ripple, they're on the exchange. We don't talk about them because they don't offer anywhere near what SHIB offers every single person on the planet. The ability to make insane amounts of money. So we're going to get into tonight's talk. And we were not able to host a raffle. Sorry, the update is that we're hosting the raffle for the next 24 hours because we didn't sell any tickets. So we'll be hosting it for the next, and I'm still working on the website, guys, so please keep that in mind. Plus, I have to come up with content every night. I hope to get a lot more than 1K. Right now, SHIB has got approximately over 6 million followers. I would like to get 100 million followers on the channel because we're going to increase everybody's wealth. I mean, it's just simple economics, right? SHIB has got that much power behind it, and with the 50-50 raffle going, we're going to increase everyone's wealth exponentially. You're going to actually see your money literally make you money every single day, like pretty much every single day. After we do the first 7 months of burns, after that, it's going to be exponential. So people are going to be caught on by then, and everybody's going to be sharing that information with everybody else. It's just going to be boom, 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 boom. And it's going to go like firecrackers. So if you're not into SHIB, you might want to get yourself into it. But the choice is, of course, yours. We do not give you financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not your analyst. I can't be your analyst because I'd have to know all your financial obligations in order to facilitate you better. So nobody is going to cover a pink sheet stock or a pink sheet currency. There's no way they're going to cover it. Even with the market cap as big as SHIB's is, they're still not going to cover it because it's under a penny. It has to be over $1 before you even have one analyst. And what they call them is what do they call them, Mark? Do you remember what they call analysts that cover stocks under $1? Actually, it's under $5. They call them penny stock analysts. So anyone that covers a stock under $5 is called a penny stock analyst. and there's not very many of them because, let's face it, we don't have too many of them going from literally 10 cents to $10 in a matter of months, or even a couple of years, or 3-4 years for that matter. Normally, it takes roughly around 10 years to see any kind of return on your investment once it's a penny stock. So that's why a lot of analysts don't cover them, because it's just no money in it. SHIB doesn't have money. It's got zero employees. So there's no marketing agents, there's nobody, there's no CEO, no CFO. So everything's up to the development team to come up and say something, but let's face it, the development team only cares about their products. So SHIB has always got the back door, even though, and we'll go into the what if scenario with Shibarium, because if they would have continued the burn, SHIB's price would have more than 1,000x by now. Thank you. That's right. If they would have done it the way it was supposed to be done in Paramount, it would have been worth 1,000 times more than what it is now, which would be around that 1 cent dream that everybody's talking about. Right. If they would have continued doing it, why? If they continued doing it with only 10% of the money that they've made on the Shibarium network when they were starting, because it drove up what? Volume. Thank you very much. Right? How much volume? $5 to $6 billion in transactions per day. How much money is made off of that? What, 10%? No, they're 3 cents on the dollar is what Shibarium was making. 3 cents on the dollar. So if they would have continued it with a 10% burn that cost them nothing to, by the way, cost them nothing to burn it. If they would have continued it, SHIB would have flew through the roof, because we had a 7.5 times their money. So it would have been 7.5 for the next one. And then after that, it would have went, well, we don't know, 7.5 times. It probably would have went 10 times, because people start seeing this constant reduction happening. And then next time is 10%. And then you made even more money the next time, and more money again the next time, and more money, because you got more what? Volume. So then volume would have kept pressing on. They would have made even more money. And then every 2 months there's a burn. Every 2 months there's a burn. Why? Why every 2 months, Jason? Any reason why? Everybody, why is 2 months the catalyst for SHIB? Why would it be 2 months? Because it takes 4 months for them to catch on, right? So the first time it happens, okay, that's the second time it happened in 4 months. So we're starting to see a what? A correlation. Exactly. Now, if we go back in time and find out what Ethereum did, and then their mistake was they didn't continue burning it. But they didn't know, because it's the first time. So we'll give them the grace, okay? But that doesn't get away from the fact that they missed out on so much money. Shibarium hit, what, $5,500 for their max, okay? 2021, they hit $5,500. That's what they, $5,500 US. Okay, roughly around 8,000 Canadian. What happened? What happened? They didn't burn. Okay, so they had the golden goose. They saw some of the golden eggs, and they didn't burn anything. So they didn't keep those golden eggs coming. Instead, they let everybody else take advantage of the golden goose. So now BlackRock has a big portion of it. Robinhood has a big portion of it. Binance has a big portion of it. Crypto.com has a big portion of it. Coinbase is starting to get there. They're not there yet. They've got 2 trillion SHIB right now. They're starting to work their way in there. Like I said, with the price being so low, all these exchanges are taking advantage of it, trying to force the price down so they can buy more of it. I kept warning people, this is what's going to happen, but no. So not to get away from the scenario is that if Ethereum was to do it continually, just with a 10%, so they made 75 billion, okay? Just off of SHIB. Just off SHIB. Now, if they were to do that for everything that was going on at that time, because remember, we had that big run-up in the marketplace, but if they were to do it just on SHIB and then reduce it by 10%, which they get back from the government, by the way, because it's a corporate write-off on reduction, okay? Because they reinvest it back into SHIB. That's a corporate investment, guys. That's 100% write-off. We can't get that. So why would we do it? That's why. So what would that be? That's 7.5 billion. Now we want to do some math, right? 7.5 from roughly about $28 billion. So 7.5 billion from 28 billion. And then our market capitalization, right? So we were at 48 billion, but by the time they do the burn is 4 months after the fact, because it's the first one. And it works so well, they'll take a chance. But they're not taking a chance. It's 100%. It's 100% chance because it's 100% write-off. Make sense? They get the money back from the government for it, right? They get that back because it comes off the top of their investment. So the 75 billion they had to pay taxes on the whole 75 billion. Now they don't have to pay taxes on the 67 billion 500. They don't have to pay taxes on because it comes off the top. Now they go into the next one. They go, okay, we're going to do 7.5 billion. Okay, we'll take 7.5 from 8 billion, $28 billion market cap. That's what we're reducing SHIB circulating supply with. We get what? We won't get 4 to 5 billion in transactions. Now we're going to get 7 to 8 billion dollars in transactions per day. What's going to happen with the next burn? It's going to be 10 to 12 billion in transactions the next time around. Next time it's going to be 16 to 18 billion in transactions. You see what's going on? It's not going down, it's going up. Why is it going up? Because there's less supply. Every time we do one, there's less supply. And it drives in what? People are afraid of missing out. So what happens? There's less supply. That means there's less supply for the world to take advantage of it, to buy in. Now you have business organizations, every single one of them, because all of them want to make money, every one of them are piling into SHIB. Now, why is that important? More reductions, right? They're going to do 10%? No, they're going to do 20 to 30% next time, because now they start to see the benefits of reducing the circulating supply, and they hold all the cards because they haven't sold any of it off of their own exchange, because now they realize the protectionism that they need to focus is strictly on SHIB, because that was the mistake they made the first time. They don't have that option anymore. It's going to cost them a lot of money to buy SHIB back. They'll be spending almost the whole 75 billion trying to buy at least half of it back from everybody. No, they won't. It will cost them about 28 billion. But you see what I'm saying? It's a lot more than 10, and they can't write it off. So in Ethereum, you can bet for one thing for sure, that they probably spent it on other cryptocurrencies that took a bit of a pounding on them, because that's what they do, right? Hey, we took it, we invested it, we reinvested back into the crypto exchanges, crypto market, more meme coins, more altcoins, because that's where the money was. But what they missed was, if they would have stuck with SHIB in the first place, they would have made it a domino. They would have given that dominance to their own currency, and it would have driven their price up. Ethereum would have been sitting at around $55,000 today. Now we're nowhere near that. And why? Because they couldn't see the forest through the trees. And that's the whole point of it. And that we brought up that scenario before. No, we just talked about that tonight. So it's one of the things that I wanted to stress on. And Shibarium would have done it. The exact same thing would have happened. Price of SHIB would be around, I'm guessing, 30 to 40 cents, if not more. 4 years of this? No, it would have been sitting at probably $2 to $3. And $2 or $3, would you buy SHIB at $2 or $3? Mind you, you have a market cap of around 80 to 90 billion. You have that much supply gone, right? You would be under $1 trillion, guys. It would be under $1 trillion SHIB left supply. How much less? A lot less. You probably wouldn't even have 100 billion left, and that's huge, right? So as soon as it breaks over 100 billion, and every single exchange, every single organization now is buying into SHIB because they're afraid of missing out. They know now the value is sitting at this price, and the price should be this much, because it's trading at less than value, because we're trading at less than value now. So if we're trading at less than value now, it's probably going to stay the same until we have complete world dominance taking effect, where every single organization on the planet is starting to buy into it. Then we can honestly say that it's trading above its value, and we'll probably see another big rise in SHIB in the future. Now, a lot of people are probably thinking they can't fathom that information because it's too random, too quick, and too fast. I could give you the calculations if you like. I broke it down today on the scenarios, and I wanted to get into it because I think it's important, because I don't want anyone else to make the same mistakes that Shibarium made and Ethereum made. And it's completely possible that everybody can make that same mistake. It's just that it's that profound. Tonight we're going to talk about what if Ethereum kept it going, if they kept reducing the circulating supply. What would that mean for every single person in SHIB during the 2021 raffle, or 21 spike? Would we see a downturn, even though BTC eventually, at first we would, because they wouldn't jump in, they would be hesitant. Okay, they were also hesitant, but they were so happy that they made so much money during that run. They didn't even flinch when it came to thinking about sitting down and talking about it. They didn't even flinch. So it was meant to happen. But what can we do to prevent this from happening in the future? What are the scenarios that we can run through and help the organizations understand what they did wrong, so that they don't make the same mistakes twice, or other exchanges make the same mistakes twice? Because now we have Robinhood and BlackRock sitting on enormous amounts of SHIB. We also have India sitting on enormous amounts of SHIB. But the problem with India is their boycott against cryptocurrencies. Now, it doesn't boycott all cryptocurrencies, but it does boycott certain cryptocurrencies and certain exchanges. So they only allow certain exchanges to participate in India. God knows why. Breakdown on listeners. Missed burn opportunities. Shibarium burned 56 billion. SHIB exploded in price 5x. So if they did 10%, so the first time is 4 months, and then they catch on, right? So then it's every 2 months. Any reason why? Because it takes 4 months for it to catch on. So you have 2 months of sit time, then rethink time, because it gives you 2 months of rethinking it, 2 months of watching it bounce up and down for a little while, and then it'll be every 3 months. It'll go on every month, right? So the first one happens 4 months. Next one happens. Oh, it took 4 months, same as last time, 4 months. Okay, I'll start the burn process again. Burn another bit, 10% of what we made. Boom, done. Burn that. Okay, now I'm going to burn it again after 2 months. So take 10% of everything we made thus far, burn 10%. You know what I'm saying? So it goes 2 months. And then after that one, it's going to be every month. So we're going to be burning it, wait a month, then burn it again. And eventually it's going to get to the point where they're going to be burning it every month, because you know that it's going to have a rollover effect. And they want to make what? More money. Hello, that's what everybody's about, making more money. So if the volume's increasing, that means they're making more money. So why wouldn't they keep that going? Exactly. That's the whole point of it. And you don't want to be reducing your circulating supply. You want to be reducing their circulating supply. Right. Eventually, you're going to be reducing your own circulating supply, but it's going to be because the people that are in your exchange are selling it. So you're burning the exchange rate, but your profits keep jumping up. Make sense? So your profits keep going up, your SHIB count goes down. So every time you buy it and sell it, there's a reduction in SHIB circulating supply happening. Now, it's very minuscule depending on what the profit was. 10% on every single reduction, and now it's going to do that on everything. All the meme coins, all the exchanges, all the cryptocurrencies that are on their exchange, they're doing it to every single one of them. Why would they do that? Because it's going to add even more value to them. Make sense? They're going to gain the price action plus the volume plus, 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 plus. It's a no-brainer. It's like a cash cow that's just going to keep feeding you trillions, hundreds of dollars a second. Who's not going to want to take part in that? Name one exchange that won't like that coming back at them in the form of hundreds of millions of dollars per day in money, free cash flow, right? I'm shocked. Like I told Mark Anthony, I've told everybody, I'm shocked this has not caught on to the entire world. And it's a miracle it hasn't. Trust me, it is. It's an absolute miracle that no one has caught on to it. Because you think about it, all of them want to make money. Every single person on the planet wants to make money. And they have not figured this out yet. Like, it just baffles me. Even as a chance, like I said to everybody, even as a chance, right? What's $15 to everybody? $10, $5. Like, I mean, 507. I mean, $7? $7 you could have bought this for the same amount of SHIB, 1 million SHIB. And DCA, another $7 a week, or every 2 weeks, even for that matter. You had 5 months of it where you could have done it. Well, it was more like $8, but we won't talk about it. It only went down to 6.5 for a second. And that was during the, which one was that? Not the FTX. It was the Journey, because he sold 7 trillion SHIB. The last currency that you would ever want to sell, they sold theirs. Shouldn't say anything, because you know who else sold? The ecosystem development team. They had 9 trillion SHIB, and now it's dwindled all the way down to 3. Less than 3 trillion SHIB, guys. That's insatiable. That just shows you they don't even them don't get SHIB. That's insane. It's literally insane. It's like walking away from free money. Are you kidding me? It's like, wow, you guys really don't understand what you're holding. Like, not a clue. Talk to X all the time about the running through different scenarios, different aspects of SHIB, and none of them catch on to it. It's unbelievable. Ethereum finally caught on because they stopped everything. They went through the ethers. If anyone was listening to me before about CoinCarp was where you could look at the top 100 wallet holders of SHIB. If you go look at the top 100 wallet holders of SHIB now, you'll see that, which is funny. It's not funny, but you'll see this where it's broken down into trillions and then millions, right? No. It's broken into billions and then millions and then thousands under the top 100 wallet holders. Ethereum runs CoinCarp, by the way, guys. So I think it might have stirred some stomachs a little bit, knowing that they walked away from possibly $700 billion in capital gains that they would have had. 700 billion. Now, who wants to walk away from that kind of money? They did. Shibarium did. Shibarium wasn't looking at that kind of money on their return, but it was in the billions. Like 1 billion, maybe 1.1 billion or just over 1 billion in capital gains that they would have had. Never mind the volume and the money they would have made off the volume on the Shibarium, because it would have drove in a lot of interest in Shibarium, which again they never caught on to, which is phenomenal, because considering that they're both in cryptocurrencies, they both understand economics, or supposed to understand economics, and no one took advantage of it. Can we promise that this won't happen again? The next time we see a massive burn from an exchange, that they're not going to continue the formula? I don't know if they will or not. I can't tell you what they're thinking. I know that Robinhood is buying up exchanges, so I think they're gearing up for it, and they have a lot of SHIB, so they're holding majority of the golden goose. Yes, more than India and more than Binance, but Binance is pretty close. But Binance is doing something that all of them aren't doing right now, and that's reducing SHIB circulating supply, 1 billion per quarter. So this quarter, this June, we should see a burn of 1 billion SHIB. Now, when will we see that? Good question. Very good question. Very good question. And we always give proof where proof is needed so that everybody can understand it and see it for themselves. I strongly suggest everybody write this down if you haven't already. SHIBBURN.com. And you'll need to go there, check it out, see what you see. Proof of what? Utility, massive utility. I don't care who you are or what you're doing. SHIB has massive utility. Now, does it have worldwide renowned utility? No, because SHIB is trading at what value compared to every fiat currency in the world? Less than a penny, guys. Less than a penny on almost every single fiat currency around the globe, which means it's got less value than third world country value. So when you really want to think about how would it implement into society, if national banks have not caught on to it, because if they did, Japan would definitely be rocketing right now if they were to catch on to it. And what would they do? They would be borrowing against SHIB, you betcha. They would be buying as much of it as they can from their own exchanges, driving the price of SHIB through the roof, printing as much money, going further and further in debt to do it. But once it gets there, they're laughing their socks off. They're literally running around, high-fiving everybody in the building. The whole Japan would be on fire. Literally, it would be just amazing. There'd be fireworks everywhere because now they control the debt. Now they control how much SHIB gets burned daily. They would let everybody borrow Japanese dollars based in SHIB, not gold, not anything else, based in SHIB. So when they lend it out to people, when they pay it back, it goes right into what? Reducing the Japanese yen, increasing the price of SHIB with every single reduction in SHIB circulating supply. Boom, boom, boom. Instant win, win, win for them. Every time. So they pay back their debts 10 times faster than everyone else. It would be a shock to the whole system. They wouldn't even know what's going on. Because we're talking what? 30? No. How many people? What's the population of Japan? Anyone? The United States could do it too. Right? But egos in the United States can catch them off guard. Because no one knows anything more than they know because they're the best. They're the biggest, brightest. But somehow, some way, SHIB went under the radar. No one caught on to it. Let's look up Japan. Population of Japan. 124 million people. Baby booming time. Right? Baby booming time. Because they would run the markets. Within 10 years, they would own pretty much half of China, half of India, majority of Africa. They would control the world debt, guys. But they haven't done it. I'm shocked that they haven't because they're so far in debt. What's another, $30 billion, right? When you owe $12 trillion, what's another 30 billion that they have to go into debt for? And they can easily pay that back once they catch on to what they have to do. And every single organization that deals in the yen, there would be a burn mechanism with every single time that they loan money out. They would drive down the amount of borrowing cost, and everybody would be like, well, that's a really bad idea. No, that's exactly what they would do, so that their people benefit from it. Because first thing you do is help your own people, right? You want to help out your market before you help everyone else's markets out. So the first thing is you want to create more wealth within your own market and pay down that $12 trillion in debt down to a reasonable level. And it'll probably be right around that 100 billion mark before they call it quits. That gives them a little bit of leverage, and it gives them even more money to what? Buy more SHIB with it. If they don't already own majority of it at that time. And remember, they're reducing it too quicker than, but they're not using, they would stop using the people's money. Instead of that, they're using the people's money to make the money. Right? They're not using it at all. What they're doing is reducing SHIB circulating supply, increasing the yen even further, driving up the price of the yen against the U.S. greenback, against the gold bullion. And I think that's where they would probably want to be sitting, is they're not looking at the U.S. dollar, they're looking at the gold, for its liquidity purposes and its tangible asset as a way of focusing on what's needed to increase the wealth of Japan. Now, every country can do this, right? Every country can do this. No, they can't. There's only so much supply, and there's not enough of it to go around to the entire world to bail them all out. There's just not enough supply. A lot of people think that 500 trillion is a lot of money. It's not money, guys. It's cryptocurrency, and it's SHIB, and it's constantly being reduced. So to drive up that value, a burn mechanism needs to be in place in order for that value to be added constantly. So the consistency of it is it'll always continue to reduce its circulating supply. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's why I said in SHIB, there's no, it's perfect. It's a perfect currency. Only the people make mistakes. Ethereum made the mistake. They didn't continue the burn. Shibarium made a mistake. They didn't continue the burn. Even though they were only sitting on around 7 trillion, 8 trillion SHIB, they could have increased their SHIB supply exponentially if they would have started with that burn, kept going with it. It wouldn't have got to 1 cent by now. It would take around, it'd take a while. But it wouldn't take as long as people think it would, because it would be exponential. It would be building every single month, because people don't understand that concept. It's like the raffle. Okay, you understand the raffle, right? We're reducing half the supply of the tickets that are being purchased. So you're starting to see that ticket dwindling, because that means there's less tickets available because there's less supply available. So when you see that happening, that's when you know you're making a difference, and everybody's making a difference being in the raffle. So everybody wants to participate in it because they can see the wealth being generated from it. That's why the 50-50 raffle was such a great idea, because everybody wins. It's a win-win-win scenario, right? You buy a ticket, half of it goes to the winner. That might be you. That could be your friend down the street. It could be someone in the UK. It could be someone in, depending on where the tickets are sold. Majority of the tickets are sold. Doesn't mean that the one ticket that's sold in Madagascar could be the winner. Absolutely. Absolutely. No problem, Babes Channel. Massive love, shout out to you. Thanks for your continuous support. Love to see it. And yes, Mark Anthony, that's right. SHIB would be on fire, because we would be driving up the price every single time we host a raffle draw. 500 million minimum, right? 500 million sent to a lucky winner. 500 million SHIB. Imagine 500 million SHIB being sent to your wallet. Minimum, right? 1,000 people, 1,063 people buy 20 tickets. How much is a ticket? Glad you asked. 63 cents US. Can you send me 63 cents? No. You have to send me 54,000 SHIB. Right? So if you send me 54,000 SHIB, it's on the website. And if you don't know what the website is, it's shib5050raffle.com. We do not deal in fiat currency, guys, at all. If we did, we would be breaking the laws of the states, land, and countries. Those 50-50 raffles are exclusive to their countries if it's in fiat currency. Because SHIB is not considered legal tender anywhere in the world, we can host a 50-50 raffle anywhere in the world. That's awesome, right? That's power. Because now we're able to give you what? Power back in your pocket in the form of SHIB. You better believe it. 500 million SHIB in your wallet, sent to your wallet. That would be amazing, right? Who wouldn't be happy with that? Okay, now that being said, we give that to that lucky winner. What do? Right away, as soon as that person gets verification that that money, that SHIB has been transferred to their wallet address, what do we do with it? We send the rest of it, that 500 million SHIB, straight into the Burn wallet. We get to watch it live as it gets switched over to the Burn wallet address, and we're all doing this. Woo, woo, woo. Because what does that mean? 500 million taken off of the circulating supply. Putting in what? The hard effort that you use to reduce the SHIB circulating supply with is now being taken advantage of. Every single person on the planet will eventually see that value being added and say, I need to get into this immediately. It's like I'm winning the lottery every single day. Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly why we do it. Because it's that euphoria that builds on everybody. Hey, I'm winning. I'm a winner. Today I'm a winner. I'm winning every single time we host one of these raffle draws. Every one of us is winning. And how much are we winning? 500, minimum 500 million, right? So if we were to do the maximum, what's the maximum? 294 trillion SHIB being reduced. 2,800 winners. Those winners are getting 90 billion SHIB. 90, say it, 90 billion SHIB each. Each one of them, 90 billion SHIB. That's insanity. Not 2,800 of them. How much money is that? £1 million. But after everybody's awarded, take a little while. Won't be able to do the next one the next 24 hours, guys. There's no supply left, so don't worry about it. Until we can host it, they have to start selling it. Right, exactly. Then we'll have supply. We can start doing what? More raffles, more burns. How long can we continue this on for? Less than 38 days. 38 days of hosting the raffle. And then we're under what? We're under $1 trillion. No, we're well under $1 trillion. We're looking at under 10 billion left in circulation after 38 continual raffle draws if we were to sell the max every single day. So would you double your money every single day? No, you won't double it. You should be doubling it every single day. But you know and I know everybody wants a piece of the pie. Everybody wants a piece of that pie. Are you kidding me? People aren't, people don't catch on to the first time it happens, but they certainly catch on to it after the third and fourth time it happens. Fifth time. Wait a second. Wait, where's the supply going? That's right. Where's the supply going? It's gone. Sorry. And then they're all like waiting for the, they shut things down? No, there's no supply. Everybody bought tickets with it. Oh, okay. So now you got to wait for them to sell it in order for them to have tickets, in order for you have SHIB available to be sold, because they'll have to sell it, and they have to sell it back to people who are willing to pay for it. Well, everybody's lined up to pay for it this time, and the people, not everybody's going to be selling all of it. Some of them are going to be selling only a portion of it. Some of them are be like, hey, wait, I'm going to take all the money, because you don't understand what it is. And those are, those people that's fine. You want to take it, turn it out, and turn it into fiat currency, all the power to you. If they come onto the channel and they ask you what should they do with the money, do not tell them what to do with their money, please. Okay? Once this catches on and people start asking, don't tell them what to do with their money. That's their money. That's their choice. Don't give them advice, please, not on this channel, because I don't want it to get banned. Right? I know it's not me saying it, but someone's going to say, well, he said... He didn't say anything, and you let it go on. I'm like, oh, no, you don't do that. You're not financial advisors, right? So the best thing to do is say to them, listen, it's your choice. We're not your financial advisor. I would suggest you go and get one. Go get some legal advice on what you want to do with your cryptocurrency. The best advice is no advice, right? No, the best advice is to wait. Take a minute, think about it, and then react to it. Best advice is probably move it to a ledger. If you're not sure about your exchange, move it to a ledger or cold storage. Then talk to somebody that you know that you can trust. Financial advisor is a good one. Banking analyst in your bank, if you can trust them. Most of them you can't trust. So it leaves up in the air. But the best advice you can get is from Jesus Christ. And if you don't have him as a close friend, I strongly suggest that you find him quickly, because he'll give you the best advice for what you need to do with it. Okay, and he's not going to ask you to give it away. Okay, so if someone tells you to give it away, it's not from him. Okay, because they want to make sure that you're flat broke. Okay, so investing it into a company that you know of, choice is yours, right? We cannot give you that advice. We can't tell you to cash it out. It's not our money. It's your money. So please keep that in mind once it starts taking advantage, that I don't want to see anybody coming out here and telling people what to do with their currency. We're burning it. We're making them money because it's increasing the value. All you got to do is look at the previous quarters of what we're doing or previous days and see how much SHIB has risen from that. Now, majority of the burns that happen, it doesn't happen right away because people still don't understand what that value means. We're trying to educate them, but they still don't understand what that value means. So we got to keep that in mind. Okay? So when we talk about value being added, every single time we do a reduction in SHIB circulating supply, when you see exchanges reducing SHIB circulating supply and adding value to SHIB, doesn't mean that it's going to happen overnight. No, it took 4 months. Even after 4 months, people sold off because the rest of the cryptocurrencies kept on selling off. They didn't understand what the value in SHIB was, right? They didn't understand that concept, what SHIB, the value shifted. You see Pepe? Pepe's continued to climb. It hasn't burned a single Pepe. Not one Pepe have they reduced. And they're climbing higher, faster than SHIB. Why? Exactly. Not one Pepe was burned. Not one bonk, same thing. Not one bonk was burned. Yet SHIB took 41% of its supply away, and we went right back down to where we started from. That tells you the people don't value burning. And until they catch on to it, we tell you, keep in mind, even with the 50-50 raffle happening constantly, it will take 3 to 4 months. It could take 3 to 4 months before the first burn to go through. And then the clock in their head goes off. The psychology says, hey, wait a second. Isn't reducing it creating more value for it? Yeah. Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. Welcome to the game. No, welcome to SHIB world. Right? Welcome to SHIB world, where millionaires can be made just like that. Just like that. Because of the reduction in SHIB circulating supply. And it's the only currency in the world that has zero governance and not legal tender and the ability to make you all very, very wealthy very, very quickly. Unfortunately, for everyone else coming into SHIB, you have an opportunity of a lifetime. You have an opportunity of a lifetime to take advantage of it. And you should take advantage of it. Because it's the only currency that is reducing its circulating supply without any chance of replenishment. And that is huge. Huge. That's like share buybacks at market. How many companies out there do share buybacks at market? Not one of them. Do you know why they don't do it? They would lose so much money doing it. They always pick the lowest denominator. That's like going and saying, hey, I'm going to pay fair market value for that car. Even though it's 10 years old. It's kind of running into the ground. But I'm going to pay top dollar for it. I'm going to give you the price that it was sold at. No, I'm going to give you over the price it was sold at. How many people do that? Nobody. SHIB's doing it. The value is sitting at what range? Talked about this yesterday. 30564. And where's it sitting at? 4 zeros, 1312 right now. Well, that's the last time I talked. Last time I looked at it was sitting at that price. Oh, look at that. 10. 13018. Okay, so you don't get 45 times your money anymore. You're looking at 42 times your money. The difference of a day make, right? What a difference a day makes. And why is it so important to get in when it's time to get in is because It's well under its valuation. Never mind where it should be trading at, because it should be trading above its value 10 times, because most financial sectors is 10 times. But I was trying to break it down, guys. I want to know exactly for every million that's reduced, how much value that's added to SHIB. So if you guys want to do that, and we'll talk about it tomorrow, that would be great. That would be awesome. And then we want to make sure that everybody understands every time we reduce 1 million SHIB, should that reflect the price of SHIB? Considering that it should be 10 times the value that was reduced. That's the truth of it. And we're not seeing it. Again, that value is not being added to its price. So are we undervalued? Yes. Is it a good time to jump into SHIB? It's always a good time to jump into SHIB. We're nowhere near value. Nowhere near value. So got to keep that in mind when you're doing it. Now, we base that value on Shibarium. The Shibarium burn, 56 billion SHIB. We hit a valuation of approximately 4055. But we can't count that because it didn't stay there. It closed the day off at roughly 4045 something. But we're going to say 45. 4045. And then 12 times, 12.75 times that price. It's 12.75. Yeah, somewhere around there. Almost 13 times, right? So you just round it up 13 times. That gives you that valuation. That 564. 564 is where SHIB should be sitting. Constantly. No. That's just value. That's just value. Now, how do we get that value? 694 billion SHIB removed in 4 years. That's 12.75 times more than the 56 billion that was removed. That's how we base that value on. So that's where the value of SHIB should be in there. That's only value. Now, we should be trading around 10 times. So every time there's a reduction in SHIB circulating supply, should we be going up or down? We should be going up. How quick? Not very fast, but we shouldn't be seeing any major drop-offs either, because we're always reducing SHIB circulating. Exactly, we're always reducing SHIB circulating supply, regardless of the 50-50 raffle, right? The 50-50 raffle is only to drive the awareness home and speed things up drastically. Eventually, SHIB raffle will no longer we'll be calling it quits as soon as we get to 2 billion, under 2 billion SHIB left in circulating supply. We should be around 38 billion. No, roughly around 100 billion market cap at that time. Now, they're going to be at 300 billion at that point, but you're looking at a higher valuation, right? Please keep that in mind. You could be looking at a higher price too, $600-700 SHIB. I don't know, and it would be like almost $1 trillion, and that's possible. But once it gets to a certain market capitalization, it gets a little finicky, because I can't predict what the countries are going to do. I can't predict what the companies are going to do with it. Every company's I'm thinking every company in the world is going to start reducing it. Now, I can't fathom it. I can't come up with the numbers on it, because how many companies are out there? 90,000, 180,000 companies out there. How many of them are casinos? How many of them are franchises? How many of them have multiple hundreds of thousands of companies around the world, right? I don't know, right? Most franchises only have about 30 to 40,000. I think Starbucks, what's another one that has lots? Jollibee has a few, but they're not world renowned. Wendy's, same thing. It's got world recognition. KFC's out there too. It's out there. Now, why do we bring up those stores the most? Because it's fast food and it has daily transactions. Those daily transactions equal money. So those daily transactions, if it's $50,000 or $100,000 from every single store, 10% or 5% of that goes towards a reduction in SHIB circulating supply. It doesn't take a genius to figure this out, guys. What's going to happen with SHIB's price? Skyrocket, right? Skyrocket. And how long before they figure it out? You got a crystal ball on you? You want to take that bet? It's not going to be this year. Okay, that's a good bet. How many people are willing to cover that bet? It'd be like sports betting. on the price of SHIB. See how fast, who's going to get it right and who's going to get it wrong. start being more, and then use that and say, okay, you know what? 10% off of the winner is going to be for the reduction of SHIB circulating supply. All right, let's all sign up. Never heard it from me. Okay, I never said that. I'm sure some guy in Vegas is like, hey, that's a fantastic idea. Because there's sports betting now. I bet you any money we could sneak that in to the MGM Grand. And then you'd have a world-renowned betting on the price of SHIB. Oh, don't even get me started. And just the nonsense, right? But yeah, it could absolutely happen. I don't know if anybody would want to take on to that, because that would be breaking. You'd have to have so much code behind it. It's like coming up with an exchange. If anyone's interested about coming up with an exchange that's solely used to reduce SHIB circulating supply, what would you have to do? Well, first thing you'd have to do, and this is for those that want to do it, okay? You would need financial backing, massive financial backing. You want to start off with something that has an exchange that's been, because you don't want to start a new exchange, because why would you go through the licensing of it? Just start an exchange that's been shut down. Now, for security reasons, they've been hacked 12 or 14 times. So we're going to have to hire a bunch of developers to go over the security code of it. Go break down that security code. But how much is it going to cost you? Pennies on the glass to buy it. And it's already got the licensing. It's already got everything that you need to get it going. And then you do is every single time someone buys anything off of your exchange, because you want to own as much SHIB as possible, you're going to use that to accumulate SHIB. And then once you've accumulated over 1 trillion SHIB, what you're going to do is start selling it, buying it straight off of your exchange, so that you can avoid paying Ethereum gas fees. That's key, because then you can reduce the fees. Okay? And again, every time you buy and sell anything, you're going to use what? And how many currencies you're going to want? You're going to want them all. You're going to look at and say that you're in a copycat Uniswap. You and I. You're going to copy you and I. Why are you going to copy you and I? You and I has no problems with taking on new coins, new altcoins, new meme coins, and their fees are off the charts, right? It's $50 per transaction. You're going to offer $10 per transaction. So you're taking market share away from you and I, and you're doing the exact same thing that they're doing. Now, when a company or a cryptocurrency goes under, it looks bad on you, because it's on your exchange that it went under. So you don't have that solidarity. So please keep that in mind. But it gives every cryptocurrency the ability to trade off of your exchange. And if your exchange is doing very well because you're only charging $10, you've undercut you and I to do it, because they're taking on all that risk. So they want that money to back up their exchange. They haven't started reducing SHIB circulating supply, which is astounding, right? Anyone taking advantage of SHIB should be what? Reducing the circulating supply of it to increase their wealth. Exactly. So you and I would be extremely, extremely excited to have you and I reducing SHIB circulating supply on every single transaction, right? Even if it's only 5 cents on every single transaction that happens, that's still 5 cents going towards the reduction of SHIB circulating supply. And theirs is massive, because they're dealing with hundreds of thousands of different cryptocurrencies, right? They're talking 5,000 or 6,000, no, 10,000s, 15,000 different cryptocurrencies that they're dealing with. So your servers would have to be top notch. Your security, because it's been debunked so many times, we'd have to figure out the problems with it, fix them, pay a bit of money, get capital backing from privateers. I would not privateers, but banking systems, banking sector, from the banking sector, from your own country, from whatever country that's going to allow it. And the reason for that is because they're going to be a private, okay? They're going to be what they call it, a secret investor or private investor. where they're going to be anonymous. And the reason why they're going to be anonymous is because they don't want to be associated with you at all. So when you make money, they make money. And if you're making even more money, they're not going to be associated with you. They're just going to buy you out. So prepare yourself for that. You're going to get bought out by them. Now, you're still going to be on as a CEO or the CEO of the company, because they're not going to get rid of that. They're going to get their own CFO in there. They're going to get their own board of directors. They're going to get their own. You'll be top notch for 2 or 3 years until they understand the ins and outs of the organization. Then once that happens, you're pretty much going to be a chairman on the board, retired chairman on the board, which you get called upon if something happens. So you're going to get paid on you're going to get paid on a salary basis. So you're retired, semi-retired. Just so that you're aware that everybody on your team within the first 5 or 6 years are going to get wiped out. Going to get bought up by the bank, especially if it's making them money, a lot of money, because they want to take advantage of that. Now, will they put themselves on the books? No. They'll just hire their own team from their own banking sector to take over that. No, they still won't put themselves out there. Until when? Until your organization starts making tens of billions of dollars a year. 10, $20 billion a year. Then they'll take over and say that the banking sector is buying them out, even though they own them. Yeah, that's bankers for you. That's right. That's what bankers are good for. Anyway, I'm Will, your host of the SHIB Worldwide 50/50 raffle. We went off on a little bit of a squirry there from the scenario outcasts of what SHIB should have been like. And like I said, we'd be looking at a price of approximately $2 to $3, about between $1 and $2 in a cryptocurrency. And then how many of us look at a $2 cryptocurrency and say, I'm willing to throw $2,000 at it? There's not too many of us that do it. Only the people who've made a lot of money in cryptocurrency do that. So thank God, thank Jesus Christ that you're able to buy it at this value, because realistically, none of us should have been able to buy it. It's amazing that it has. Like, you're talking billions of dollars that Ethereum walked away from, hundreds of millions of dollars that Shibarium walked away from. It's insane, the amount of money that they walked away from, that they didn't see the writing on the wall when they took advantage of it. But they're starting to understand that now. But they'll understand that more when they start to see it unfold in front of them. That is a fact. And the price being so low is scary, hairy, scary bananas. We like to say it, scary bananas. Anyway, I'm Will, your host of the SHIB Worldwide 50/50 raffle. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night from wherever you are in the world. We want to say massive love shout out to every single one of you. We'll do the shout outs. North America, South America, Africa, Europe, Asia, Australia, Greenland, Iceland, Ireland, Scotland. Massive love shout out to you guys. Massive love shout out to Antarctica. No, we did not forget about you, Antarctica. And I want to say good night. God bless. And we want to say what? John 3:16. That's right. John 3:16. In the Bible, right? Why we always come back to John 3:16. God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son as a sacrifice for every single person on the planet to have eternal life. That's right. That's what he did for every single person on the planet. He gave his life so that you would have life. Isn't that awesome? We can't love Jesus Christ enough. That's the absolute truth. We are not worthy of his love. Yet there it is. We aren't worthy of his love. We all sin, and we all bear that sin. And the price of our sin is death. Jesus Christ died for your sins. His blood was shed so that you would have life. That is love, my friends. That is unmistakable love. Unconditional in every way that you can imagine. He died 2,000 years ago for the sins of your fathers, your forefathers, and you, and your children's 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 children, for eternity, right? Until the second coming of Jesus Christ, right? To judge the living and the dead. Jesus Christ is with us today. Absolutely. He's always with us. As long as there's someone who believes in Jesus Christ is with us always. So God bless. Great. Take good care. And thank you for sharing and caring and making sure this message gets to every single person you know so that they don't get left behind. We don't want to see anyone get left behind. And that's the truth of it. We want to make sure that everybody has a chance to make as much money as they possibly can. And in SHIB, you definitely have that ability. Definitely have that ability. So God bless each and every one of you. God, and take good care of everybody. Good night. So long.